Focus, Moving Waves, an LP I bought for £5 from the vinyl sale at Wycombe Art Centre. Only a few times in my life have I heard something totally extraordinary. Possibly hearing Born to Run for the first time, or New Rose, or Paranoid Android. I am sure I heard Hocus Pocus by Focus on the radio before they played it on the Old Grey Whistle Test. But after they played it on the Old Grey Whistle Test, it was all anybody could talk about next day in the morning break at school, and I presume out in the real world. Adding to the interest was the fact that Focus were Dutch. Being European was a novelty at the time, even though we would all become European a few years later. I borrowed a copy of this album and I taped it and I played it many times, but I only really remembered the track Hocus Pocus. I have a Focus compilation CD, and Hocus Pocus outshines all the other tracks, good as they are. It is prog rock's anarchy in the UK. It starts with a riff that blows away 90% of hard rock riffs. It is fast and furious and builds to screaming climaxes that go way over the top. It has screeching guitar and a Jethro Tull-like flute. But all of that is overshadowed by the yodeling. Yes, yodeling. It was a hit hard-rocking prog rock instrumental with yodeling. It also has a bit that sounds like a sped-up clip from the Goons Ying Tong song. I have heard it on the radio, on TV, on my childhood record player, on cassette and on CD, but I played this LP nice and loud and it almost threw me back in my chair. The rest of the album has plenty of melodies and expert playing. There is a classical guitar piece backed by Mellotron, and there is one track with actual real singing on it. It sounds like a solo recital piece with rippling piano accompaniment. But it is the side-long epic on side 2 which is the other standout moment. It is called Eruption. It is more like a classical piece than many of the other side-long prog epics of the time, which tended to be just extended songs or medleys of songs and instrumentals. Chas Van Leer's keyboards are romantic classical, a bit like Keith Emerson's work with The Nice. Jan Akkerman, the guitarist, has a fluid sense of melody that also comes across as very European. He also does a thing many electric guitarists do by turning up the volume as they play a note to make it sound like bowed strings. Ackerman's standout section has the tone and feel of a European Santana. Focus later had another hit with another instrumental called Sylvia that was pretty much a Jan Akkerman solo piece. Elsewhere in the track Eruption, we get choral sections including monastic chanting. A good old rock and roll workout with some biting modal scale moments, a textbook Hammond organ solo, a pastoral flute movement, and a drum solo that manages to avoid being tedious. The album flirts with all kinds of musical styles, but nothing seems like it has been forced into place to placate egos. I saw Focus at Wycombe Art Centre. Chas Van Leer was very much the star of the show. They also had the original drummer Pierre Van Linden. The drum solo got almost as big a cheer as the yodeling. The guitarist did a very good job in recreating Jan Akkerman's guitar parts. Having not heard most of this album since it came out, I was surprised how undated it sounds. Probably because, as the early Queen albums boasted, no one played synths. Moving Waves. Focus.